Welcome back, Fantasy Moto fans, to the PulpMX Fantasy Show. I'm Donnie from RotoMoto, and in this video I have 5 riders I want you to look at when making your picks for Salt Lake 2022, tips for the FFL, the weather report, race day schedule, and an early look at what my team could be come Saturday night. And stick around until the end to find out how you could win race shoes and autograph memorabilia, even if you aren't good at the game. This is the final round of the Supercross season, so if you are playing to win a Supercross-only league or some official prizes, now is the time to push the envelope if you need to make up some points. But if you're doing very well, but not in a position for a prize, don't forget that the national numbers are given out to the top 99 after combining the Supercross and Motocross scores, so you still have something to play for in the long game. For SLC, the injury report gets a little bit longer. The elephant in the room is, of course, Eli Tomac. After clinching the title in Denver, the number 3 is opting to sit out Salt Lake to rehab his ailing knee from an incident in Atlanta. Benny Bloss looks to return to the field after missing his last round with COVID, and privateer Henry Miller also out after a shoulder injury last week, but luckily no new entries to the 250 list as we combine both classes for the showdown. For this week, I have 3 guys to target, 1 to avoid, and a high handicap guy for you gamblers out there, starting with the little class and working our way up. 250 All-Star, I'm looking at the only guy left with something to race for, and that is Hunter Lawrence. The HRC Honda jockey won the previous East-West in Atlanta, as well as the last 3 rounds he's lined up for. Although he is 18 points back on Christian Craig, there is still a chance that he could win a title with some luck, so all Hunter needs to do is pin his ears back and race to get as many points as he can and let the rest fall as it may. A guy that I do not want you looking at this weekend is Joe Shimoda. The Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider is sporting a -2 handicap, which is not unfair after his 4th place finish in Atlanta, but just is not a good pick. He qualified 9th and whole shot both his heat and main before falling back to 4th in both, so you can see his ceiling as 4th, which is just 34 points, but needing to get 8th just to break even leaves Joe with no real upside and way too much to lose in a wacky showdown round. Moving to the 450 class for All-Stars, it's gotta be Justin Barcia. Sporting a 5 handicap for the Troy Lee Designs Gas team, he needs just a 6 to max out at 26, and that is something he has done 75% of main event and Triple Crown gate drops, in addition to having an average finish well inside that range. One guy that I want you to avoid this weekend is Kyle Chisholm. I know, Chiz is gonna chiz, but it is the last round of the season, and his steady 30 points week in and week out just doesn't look so hot in this very thin field. With Eli out this weekend, there is just too much value in the guys behind Chiz, especially in that 6, 7, 8 handicap range, to bring home massive points this weekend. The high handicap hero of the round given to a rider with a handicap of 10 or more that I think has a realistic chance to score massive points this weekend if you're the type of person that likes to sweat out a little LCQ for a big payout. This week, I'm looking at Logan Carnow. The OnlyFans privateer unfortunately had a mechanical in Denver that prevented him from lining up for the LCQ altogether, so no main for him, but that's good for us as it bumps his handicap up to a 13 this week. Logan has made 4 of his last 7 main events with a best of 15th in Detroit. If he qualifies in the top 20, you know he's going to be feeling it this weekend. Moving on to the FFLs, it's a pretty standard length start with a sharper than average first turn. It's a very quick trip to the first finish line with just a single rhythm, bull turn, and whoop section to get there. I'm completely out on both FFLs, but if you feel froggy, I'd look at the usual suspects here for the 250. 450s, with FFL champ Eli Tomac out, I guess it's time to look at these 3 amigos. Sexton has been the most consistent threat by far with the best average gate pick and most FFLs, but with Webb and Muskin ending their season this weekend, they both might be extra poised to put in that little extra, and that is something to watch for. Back to the night show program in Salt Lake City. Race Day Live will kick off at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I will have the enhanced cheat sheets for RotoMoto Patreon members early as they become available, as each class wraps up by 6 p.m. The rest of the players will have their basic qualifying cheat sheet on Twitter and Instagram about 90 minutes before the show starts at around 6:30 p.m. and then the picks lock and the gates drop at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Before I show you my early team, I want to talk to you about Maxxis Tire coming on for all 17 rounds so I can deliver these videos for you. You know Maxxis Tire. You know their MX ST tire designed by the king of Supercross and my all-time favorite rider, Jeremy McGrath. It is the newest and most advanced tire in the Maxxis MX lineup, featuring an all-new tread pattern, compound, and composition to provide the stability, predictability, and traction at the upper tiers of motocross demand. The entire SGB Honda team runs Maxxis on their race bikes, including PulpMX show favorites and on-again, off-again rivals Alex Ray and Cade Clayson, available at your local retailer and also at motosport.com. My Thursday team looks like this. I have Hunter Lawrence as my all-star with a 1 handicap. Man-child Garrett Marchbanks also with a 1, but eligible for double points. His PulpMX teammate Enzo Lopes at a 5, and rounding it out, Firepower Honda's Jordan Smith with a 6. 450 side, I'm looking at Justin Barcia with that all-star 5. I have Big Rig Benny Bloss with a generous 7. Twisted T Justin Bogle also with a 7, and Captain Cade Clayson sniffing around the top 10 with an 8. The prize for the highest championship league score in Salt Lake will be a race-worn Cooper Webb jersey, but if you're not great at fantasy, that is okay. If you want a chance to win something like this limited edition Slayer-themed Robbie Wageman jersey, part of a Team Solitaire prize pack for the month of May, which includes a Rockwell watch and hat, Liat goggles, and beanie, as well as some of the best metal music courtesy of Nuclear Blast Records, consider joining me on Patreon. For just about $1 per week, you are entered to win race shoes and autographed memorabilia, and insiders and above double their entries, as well as an exclusive podcast talking fantasy stats on every rider in the field, and those enhanced cheat sheets that come out every Saturday. Link for that will be in the description below, and don't forget to follow at PulpMX Fantasy and at RotoMoto on both Instagram and Twitter for injury updates as the weekend rolls on, qualifying info, and stats and banner throughout the race itself, and those fantasy cheat sheets once qualifying is done and wrapped. Thanks, as always, for watching the PulpMX Fantasy Show presented by Maxxis Tire. My name is Donnie, and may your chiz this weekend. Remember that 8 is great, and most importantly, have fun. Good luck, y'all.